So welcome to Unity on the River. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing? Good, good. We have a tune today, Let Your Love Shine. This is a new tune that Keith's going to be sharing with us, which I'm really looking forward to. And it was a nice recommendation by Revo for him. So this is kind of a good thing. Thank you, Mitadoza, for always helping out.
Yay, Brian.
Good morning. Happy Sunday to all my brothers and sisters here at Unity on the River. And a special thank you to Revo for suggesting I learn this song. So I'm very grateful. Thanks, Revo. And the name of the song is Let Your Light Shine by Keb Mo. You say you're gonna get older. What are you gonna do? Let the world go by in the corner of the room. Well, I know it's none of my business, but something I got to say. The way I see you, you'd start flying on your own. Get out of the way and let your light shine. Let your love show. It's a short ride, but it's a long road. When the rain comes and the wind blows, let your light shine wherever you go. Well, this old world, it's ready and waiting for you to kick on through. You got to recognize and realize you're the only one like you. Now step on out. Step into your greatness. Now don't be afraid, 'cause there's a place that you will rise up to. No one else can do it the way you do. Get out of the way and let your light shine. Let your love show. It's a short ride down a long road. Rain comes and the wind blows. Let your light shine wherever you go. Get out of the way and let your light shine. Let your love show. It's a short ride, but it's a long road. And when the rain comes, when the wind blows, let your light shine wherever you go. Hey, let your light shine. Let your love show. 'Cause it's a short ride, but it's sure a long road. When the rain comes and the wind blows, let your light shine long road. And when the rains come, and when those winds blow, let your light shine wherever you go. Thank you very much.
Keith Bickford, all right. Welcoming Brian Dozer up for One Love, One World, right in there. Now his turn today.
Brian.
Stay away.
Quick joke.
Sure, I look good for the camera. We are one, 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 we are one. In this world of constant changing, all our lives are rearranging now. All the struggle, all the pain, a part of what we call the game, and harmony calls my name. Things don't have to stay the same. Peace on earth, goodwill to men can happen once again. We are one love, we are one world. Put your hands together now, every boy and every girl. We are one love, we are one world. Take some time to help your brother, and then you'll understand. One love, one world. One love, one world. All my life I searched for reasons for the ever-changing seasons now. All the heartache, all the shame, a part of what we're all the same, and harmony in our lives, peace and love and sacrifice. We all need to lend a hand, a brotherhood of man. We are one love, we are one world. Put your hands together now, every boy and every girl. We are one love, we are one world. Take some time to help your brother, and then you'll understand. One love, one world. One love, one world. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Put your hand in mine. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Let your spirit shine. Oh, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Put your hand in mine. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Let's sing one more time. We are one love. We are one world. Put your hands together now, every boy and every girl. We are one love. We are one world. Take some time to help your brother, and then you'll understand. One love, one world. One love, one world.
comfortable standing and joining the hymn. Oh, sorry, we got a whole...
may want to stand
But if you're comfortable standing, why not?
You can stand for this if you want.
Come on, everybody. Yeah.
Night has turned to day, oh, night has turned to day. Night has turned to day, oh, mama, now night has turned to day. Night has turned to day, night has turned to day. Night has turned to day, oh, mama, now night has turned to day.
One more.
Night has turned to day, night has turned to day. Night has turned to day, oh, mama, now night has turned to day. I was walking in the darkness, I had not yet seen the light. I was swooping with the bad ones, I thought I had won the fight. At the peak of my delusions, I loved the money, girls, and cars. Now I'm walking with the sunlight, broken, battered, bruised, and scarred, but I'm so happy. Night has turned today. Night has turned today. Oh, mama, night has turned today. Night has turned today. Oh, night has turned today. Night has turned today. Oh, mama, night has turned today. In the middle of the conflict between me, myself, and lies, I saw people die for nothing. I served lies to hungry eyes. When I swam deep in the river of my conscience, I defined self-reflection, new direction, to a healthy state of mind. I thought I'd never find. Oh, night has turned today. Night has turned today. Oh, mama, no, night has turned today. Night has turned today. Oh, night has turned today. Night has turned today. Oh, mama, no, night has turned today. But I ain't going back to the work. I ain't going back to the work. I ain't going back to the work no more. That's captured all the dreams of happiness. I'm gonna find the highest ground I can stand on. 'Cause 3 lives is enough, child. Oh, night has turned today. Night has turned today. Night has turned today. Oh, mama, night has turned today. Night has turned today. Oh, night has turned today. Night has turned today. Oh, mama, no, night has turned today. Night has turned today. Night has turned today. Night has turned today. Oh, mama, no, night has turned today.
Playing over. If you are comfortable remaining standing and holding the hand of the person next to you, this is surely the presence.
Let us pray. Surely the presence of the Lord is in this place because you are present in this place. You, the embodiment of the divine, you, the face of God, you, the light of all that is. shining in this world. So today, from a place of true gratitude, I say thank you for being here. Thank you for being God made visible. Thank you for being the Word made flesh. Thank you. Thank you. Your presence inspires me, lifts me up, brings me great joy. Thank you. And so it is, and so let it be. Amen. You may be seated. Good morning. Welcome to Unity on the River. I'm Reverend Ogun Holder. In case we haven't met, I'm the senior minister here. Before I go any further, I got to give shout out to the band is rocking today. Keith, Brian, choir, musicians. The hardest working person on Sunday morning, Maura. Trust me, she's working a lot harder than I am. Thank you, Maura. When they play my favorite songs, so literally the Kebmo song that Keith played, one of my favorite songs that reminds me about who I am. It reminds me what to do. Get out of my way and let my light shine. You know, Kebmo, how many of y'all know Kebmo, the blues artist? Oh, go listen to Kebmo. Great artist. And then Brian does Night is Turn Today. Sometimes it's tempting to think that this is my band. And, you know, I'm like, hey, this would be a cool song to hear live. I wish I could go see these guys. Wait a minute, I got a band. I'll just throw it at them, let them do it. You know, so I gotta like, don't do this to them. They got the, you know, I want to throw songs at them every week for them to do because they pull it off in amazing ways. Keith, Brian, thank you guys. You did an awesome job today. And I love to see you here in all your awesomeness today. The choir. Dude, I thanked y'all already. I said the choir's looking awesome today. Thank you, choir, for doing all your backup. Thank you. I thought I mentioned you earlier. If I didn't, I apologize. I always thank you. Yeah, you're right. You guys are so nice. Got to do it twice. You got to talk to him more. Got to talk to him. Got to talk to him and then jump in. But you so glad you're here in all your awesomeness. You are looking great. Thank you for celebrating Sunday morning with us. And as I always like to say, if we want to see the face and the heart of the divine, we simply need to look to another person. So turn to someone, say, God looks good today. God's looking good today. God's sounding good over here too. More slap on the bass. More slap on the bass. You know, there you go. And always with a heart of joy and effervescent bubbliness, facilitating with me today, Mickey Lucia.
Good morning. You stole all my thunder. I was going to thank the band. I was going to thank... This is an amazing choir. We have an amazing band. Unbelievable. Hi, my name is Mickey Lucia. I will be taking you through the service today. Yeah. We're in for a joyful ride, as always, on Sunday. So, first thing I want to do is say hi to the streamers. Hi, streamers. How you doing? I wish they could, like, send us messages back in bubbles. You know, wouldn't that be cool? Someday. Who's here for the first time? Raise your hand. Okay, wait. We got a pointing. Okay. We've got a new person sighting. It's like a little hunt. Can we bring a couple of packets and a couple of flowers for these two wonderful beings right here that are being pointed to? It's okay, you don't have to come up. There's a packet, there's a welcome packet. The flower gives you 10% in the bookstore. Fill out the card if you feel, and you can bring it over to the Spiritual Resource Center. Any questions or whatever, please. Obviously, you have Jackie to answer those questions, and that's no better person than Jackie to tell you about us. Right, Jackie? Hi, Jackie. Good to see you. Okay, so what am I missing here? Unity, of course, is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. So now we're going to do our mission and vision statements. Let's hold all these truths in our heart as we say them together, and let's try and bring them with us this week if we can. So first, our mission statement together. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And our vision statement, let's send our vision out into the world. Think about it. Put it in your heart. We are centered in love. We joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. Imagine having a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. Wouldn't that be beautiful? It can happen. It will happen. Just bring that with you always. 2 brief announcements. Next week is the first Sunday of the month. What is the first Sunday of the month in hospitality? And what is potluck? Bring food. It's a community potluck, so please bring something for us to share. And then right after that, we have our annual meeting, community meeting. So what's going to happen is right after service, we'll go into potluck. In about 11:45 noon, we'll go into the community meeting right afterwards. So I don't know if there's a sign-up or anything, but you can talk with Peter or any other folks over in the Spiritual Oneness Center. And also now, a film tomorrow will be screened here on February 13th. The film is the beginning of a movement seeking to encourage local communities around the world to change the way they live for the sake of our future. February 13th from 6:30 to 8 here. I'm thinking in this area, probably in the sanctuary, depending on how many people come. So now it's that time where we see each other in our own divine presence. Take a moment and greet each other in love. A handshake or a hug. Just say, I see you. I see the divine in you. Namaste. I forgot to say something.
Tune coming up.
I forgot to say something more. February 4th is Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Sunday is a big day here in New England. So don't forget to wear your gear on that Sunday. Okay, so we party before and then we'll party after for the win. Okay, now you can go, Brian.
Well, this is a great tune because it features both of the Dozer men. And Tim is a fine musician. He's also a very, very fine sound man.
Right,
so we're super, super grateful for him to come. Thank you, Tim.
And like any 16-year-old, he's happy to be up here.
Thank you, Tim. It's a favor to me. It's a favor to me.
All right. Start with the ukuleles. All right. There's a once in a lullaby. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly, and the dreams that you dare to, why then, oh, why can't someday I wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And the dreams that you dreamed of, why then, oh, why can't well, I see trees of green and I see red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white, the brightness of day, and I like the dark, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops high above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. And those dreams that you dreamed of, the dreams really do come true.
You know, as often as you two have done that song, it never gets old. Never gets old at all. And I'll be honest with you, the more I've seen you do it, the slightly wider the smile on Tim's face gets. As like right now, as he struggles to reconcile the teenage angst of, I can't believe I'm doing this, with what I know is actually the actual pure joy and happiness he gets from doing this. Yeah. Which is interesting because we all suffer from this. Let's be clear, we're, for the most part, really teenagers and big bodies. We are. Often we have these situations where, like, we're stepping into it knowing, hey, this is me. This is intrinsically who I am. This is what's speaking to me. And then at the same time, we're like, I would rather be anywhere else than here right now. We have these dichotomies, and we fight through the angst. We do this a lot in our lives. Some of us have gotten to the point where we can recognize it, and like Tim, step through it and find himself here in this position. And often we have to do it with help and support, like Brian did and has done. So thank you guys for being a wonderful demonstration for us, both of you in all the ways that you do it. Because sometimes we want ourselves and the people with us to be enthusiastic with us. We want them to be on the same page as us. We want them to believe what we believe. Sometimes they don't, and we're like, well, kind of what's wrong with them, you know? But like, as it goes with teenagers, if we wait for them to get over the angst, we'll be waiting for a long time. Bye, Tim. But then we have moments when we can embarrass them some more, and it all works out. It all balances out. So how many of you this week were a little more mindful of your thoughts after last week's talk? Okay. Yeah, all right. Time for a recap. Clearly, because there weren't enough hands going up, but that's all right. That's all right. I remember when I was in seminary, we were going through the class on homiletics, how to give a talk. The format was, tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. And you do that in one talk, and then you do that in a series. If you do that in a series, always start with what you told them. Remind them what you told them, tell them again, and then tell them again. Tell them again. And I combine that with this premise of, I only give the talks that I want to hear. I only give the talks that I know are things that are my growth points. I give talks to remind myself of these things, these elements, these spiritual teachings that, you know, sometimes I don't remember myself and sometimes struggle with. Last week, I started this series on living the abundant life, and we talked about how it's really three ways: your thoughts, your words, and your actions. So last week, we kind of focused in on the thoughts. And the most important thing that I want you to get from last week's talk is that where does everything start? Where does everything begin? Everything begins in God. Everything begins in God. When you want to call it God, Spirit, all that is, source, the name is irrelevant. Universe, the name is irrelevant. Okay? But that's where it all begins. Anything you see, everything we do, all the choices we make, every option available to us began in God, because God is all there is. God is omnipresence. God is beyond space and time. It begins there. Okay? Now, again, we have a choice of what we do with our creative impulse. Just as God is the very energy and life force of creation, so are we. So what we do with that is totally up to us. And that's where we start getting into thoughts, coming into words. Because what often happens with us is we think we believe something. We think, yeah, this is what I'm holding on to. And then, well, you know what? I'm going to speak for myself. I'm not going to throw anybody else under the bus but me. I think I believe a thing, I think I'm holding on to it, and then I open my mouth. And then often that's when the train goes off the cliff, right? Because for me, often I sometimes will, less so more than before, but it still happens, I will say things that end up being a more articulate reflection of what I truly believe. Because I get the thinking mind out the way. The thinking mind is great. It's awesome, okay? Sometimes we have this idea that in meditation and all these spiritual practices is to stop the thinking mind from thinking. No, your thinking mind is awesome. Love it, enjoy it. That's why it was created, to think, okay? So the thinking mind's not a bad thing, but the thinking mind will only think the thoughts that are truly reflection of what you believe. You can have these internal dialogues with yourself. But if you really want to hone in on what you truly believe and feel about anything or anyone, watch your words. The words are the true telltale sign. For example, you may wake up in the morning, meditate, you all zen and blissed out. You're going great. Then you flip on the news, and you hear something about someone, and out come some words that truly reflect that you have just jumped out of that blissed zenness in all of 3 seconds. Okay? The words that we speak kind of tend to reflect that. The problem with that is our words are creative. Our words are creative in so much as, not that I speak a thing and all of a sudden some magic happens over there. Our words are creative because as we speak the words and we hear ourselves speak the words, it's like we're creating a bit of a feedback loop. What may be our intrinsic belief comes out in the words, we hear ourselves speak it, and it reinforces that belief. Kind of a feedback loop. That's both good news and bad news. The bad news piece is when you hear yourself say something, go, wow, did I really say that? Do I really believe that? Oh my goodness. But the good news is then, because it's kind of like this feedback loop, you can start speaking back to yourself. You can start speaking back to your beliefs. You can start saying the things that are more reflective and where you want to be. In other words, you can brainwash yourself. Okay? You can do it. If you're going to be brainwashed, you do it. Okay? So last week, I also started looking at this book by Georgiana Tree West, classic unity minister. It's called Prosperity's 10 Commandments. And she does a really nice, I call it a nice metaphysical tweak on the 10 Commandments and puts them in the context and the framework of abundance. Last week we looked at the first commandment. Thou shalt have no other God before me. In other words, remember in your life, everything comes from source, from God. Do not believe that there's anything else outside of that, because there isn't. Hence, my favorite term for God, I'm comfortable with the word God, but my favorite term that I like to use is all that is. All that is. All that is. And let me be clear, I'm talking about this in the spiritual sense of things. All that is. But ultimately, like I said before, what we see in the material world comes from that too. The idea of chairs, musical instruments, cars, planes, whatever. All of those things that we think human beings came up with, those are all things that are outpicturing of what is originally divine ideas, started in source, in God. We are creative beings. Please remember that. So the second commandment was also, you shall not make yourself an idol. That's the original second commandment. But when we look at it in the abundance context, it's this same idea of don't focus on your thoughts of lack or what you don't have or anything that seems less than divine. Why? Because where does it all begin again? In source, in God, in the oneness, in all that is. I want to move on to the third commandment today. For those of you who may remember your 10 commandments from way back in the day, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. Now, I remember growing up how that was often interpreted. Do you remember that one? Should not take the Lord thy God's name in vain. I won't demonstrate for you right now. I won't. But it was that idea of saying words like, I can't, how could I do it without doing it? You get what I'm saying? But you all know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about? No. Okay, so, but that's not really what that means. And I love how she phrases it here. Or rather, let me read from you the New Revised Standard Version, because the King James Version phrases it, thou shalt not take the name of the Lord thy God in vain. The New Revised Standard Version of the Bible writes it this way, you shall not make wrongful use of the name of the Lord your God. You shall not make wrongful use of the name of Lord your God. Think about that. Make wrongful use. So let's say for you the name of all that is God, love, spirit. Realizing that when we invoke this, we are invoking elements of who we are at our core. When we speak of God, when we speak of divinity, we're not just speaking of something mystical out there. We're speaking the very essence of who we are. When we take that name in vain, we're declaring the lesser part of ourselves. We are saying we are not divine beings. We're trying to say it, but saying it don't make it so. Whether you want to believe it or admit it or not, at our core as divine beings, that's who we are. And to say anything or believe anything less than that is to take God's name in vain. It's to take your Christ nature in vain. It's to take the essence of who you are and attempt to deny it. It is the attempt to deny your God self. To take the name of the Lord in vain is to attempt to deny your God self. How does that look in our everyday life, in our everyday experience? When we say things about ourselves, about our situations, about other people that are less than divine, we are taking the Lord's name in vain. When we say things like, I am unlovable, we are taking the Lord's name in vain. Why? Because what is God? God is love. The essence of who we are is love. And to make a declaration like that is to attempt to deny the essence of who we are as love. We're attempting to take the Lord's name in vain. And the weird thing about it is, even though it's not true, when we say it, we start that feedback loop. And we continue to believe this erroneous thought about ourselves. This is why we have to be very mindful of our words. Not just the words we say to other people, but more importantly, the words we say to ourselves. How many of you are familiar with The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron? Yeah, a lot of hands. How many of you have gone through the entire book? You've done the morning pages, you've done the whole thing. Yeah, that's a fabulous book. I both love and hate that book. The hate part, I've mentioned this before, comes from when I jumped into doing The Artist's Way. It totally took me from the inside and pulled me out through my mouth and flipped me inside out. It was a grueling process. It was gross, it was nasty, lots of tears, lots of anger, lots of tear-stained morning pages, but it was the most beautiful thing I ever did because it was the thing that got me to love myself. The Artist's Way was the thing that got me to love myself. And my favorite part of The Artist's Way is exercise is the artist date. Remember the artist date? Those of you who did the Artist's Way program. Basically, what Julia Cameron said is take yourself out on a date. Make it a good date, but take yourself out on a date. Go to a museum. Love yourself as you would want to be loved by someone else. Fall in love with yourself. Many of us, some of us, who may not be in relationships and bemoan that situation, we use phrases like, I'm all alone, or I am lonely. Here's an interesting concept. How about saying, currently, there's no one else to distract me from loving myself. Noodle on that for a bit. Currently, there's no one else in my life to distract me from loving myself. Okay? Take yourself out on some artist dates. Have an awesome time with yourself. Love yourself. Be the very embodiment of this divine concept of love, which is unconditional, first of all. So, I mean, if you go on an artist date, or you go on a date by yourself, and you come back and you said, that was not the best date I've been on, we got an issue. Okay? Going on a date with yourself should be the best date that you've ever been on. Why? Because you love yourself. And here's the interesting thing about when we truly love ourselves to the fullest. You know what we realize? That there is no limit to how we can love and how much we can love. Yourself is telling you to love you. That's the message I'm going to assume is happening right there. So when you do this and you realize, you know what? I love myself so much now that I've spent time with myself and figured out how to love myself. I love me so much right now that I don't need someone else to make me feel loved. And when you get to a place where you realize you don't need someone else to make you feel loved, you have just become the most attractive person in the universe. You are. You are, because, I didn't mean to turn this into like a dating advice thing, a relationship advice. This is not where this was going, but I'm going with the flow of it. Because then what happens is that someone recognizes the fullness of the love that you are. And I got to tell you, there's nothing more attractive than that. There's nothing more magnetic than that. And then you can love that other person unconditionally. What they do, ideally, what they do beyond non-negotiables, what they do does not reflect on how you feel about the value that you place on yourself. Why? Because you realize your wholeness, the fullness of how you love yourself, comes from here, comes from source, comes from the essence of who you are. To live an abundant life means to realize that everything that you think you need, everything that you think you lack, isn't going to come from out here. To live an abundant life ultimately means getting to the point of realizing that there is nothing that you lack. There is nothing that you need, because the fullness of the divine is present in you. I want to read a passage here from Prosperity's 10 Commandments. Every time we talk about poverty, and I'm going to use poverty in the broadest terms, as in the things we think we lack, the things we think we need, you know, whether it be money, a good house, a car, a partner, a different place to live, whatever it is, whatever we think is the source of our unhappiness, poverty. We bear false witness against God, for we deny God's presence. We are stating that there is an absence of the presence of God in our lives. We know this cannot be true, so instead of bearing false witness against God, we should courageously face the condition in the positive knowledge that it is not true and has no place in our circumstances, which are impregnated with God's presence. We know this cannot be true. There cannot be an absence of the presence of God in our lives, because why? God is all that is. There is no point in the universe where the presence of Spirit is absent that defies the definition of what God is. And when we state or try to state that there's an absence of presence in our God, we There's discontent in us. Courageously face a condition in the positive knowledge that is not true and has no place in our circumstances. Our circumstances are not us. I mean, look at the very word, circumstance. You ever broke that word down? Circum, as in circumference, around, stand. Circumstance, the things that are standing around us. Our circumstances are the things that are standing around us. They're not us. They're around us. And how do we affect them? We speak words of truth and abundance to them. This is why in that story with Jesus in the boat and the storm came up and the disciples were freaking out and Jesus was sleeping. Why was Jesus so calmly sleeping? Because he knew the storm was not him. It was happening around him. And he woke up and what did he say? Peace, be still. He spoke words of truth. Peace. God is the embodiment of peace. We are the embodiment of peace. Peace, be still, and the storm calmed down. The circumstances are the things standing around us. They are not us. Who are we? We are the fullness of the divine. We are the fullness of God in potential. And to turn that potential, going back to my physics days, from potential to kinetic energy, to turn that potential into kinetic starts with the thoughts, and then we speak into the circumstances. Examine your life. Whatever you may think is missing or lacking or you wish you had, realize that you are bearing false witness against your true self and speak words of abundance to it. Speak words of truth to it and to yourself and repeat them over and over again until you have brainwashed yourself into believing that you are divine. Michael Beckwith says, regardless of what has happened to you in your life, regardless of how young or old you think you might be, the moment you begin to think and speak properly, the power within you that's greater than the world will begin to emerge. It will take over your life. It will feed you. It will clothe you. It will guide you, protect you, direct you, sustain your very existence if you let it. If you let it. The moment you begin to think, I'm going to throw in and speak. The moment you begin to think and speak properly, the moment you begin to think and speak as if truly you are the embodiment of all that is. This is the only thing we got to get in through our thick skulls. The only thing. And everything that stands around us is an opportunity to do that. Living the abundant life is not about what we have. Living the abundant life is realizing that we have it all. So it is. Let's take this into meditation. So let's begin with a deep breath. Centering ourselves here, centering ourselves now. Centering ourselves in our hearts. Let us meditate on the idea of abundance. The idea that we are all we think we need or want. The idea that we are the embodiment of God itself. Let's open our minds to divine inspiration. To divine ideas. No matter our circumstances, what stands around us, no matter what we think we might need, we know that the solution is us. The solution is remembering who we are. Remembering that all begins in God. And from these divine ideas, we speak the truth. We speak the truth inwardly. We speak the truth outwardly. And any adverse circumstance melts away because we are transformed. So we hold to this truth. That we are simply not just one with all that is. We are all that is. We are the embodiment of abundance. And we courageously speak that truth to ourselves, to the world. So as we spend a few moments in the silence, let us affirm the truth. I am abundance. I am abundance. I am abundance. Let this be your thought. Let this be your spoken word. Today and every day moving forward. Let us hold that intention for all the names in our prayer box. Hold the intention that all these individuals remember that in the midst of their circumstances, to experience them differently, they simply need to speak the word, I am abundance, to remember who they are, the true fullness of themselves. And should you hold that invitation and intention for anyone else, I invite you to say their names out loud. And so in so doing, we recognize the abundance that they are. We recognize the divinity that they are. We recognize God in them. and in so doing transform how we see them. Not as those in struggle, but those in transformation. And so it is. Amen.
In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. And I rest and trust and breathe and know. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. In the stillness of this moment, there is peace, there is peace. And I rest and trust, breathe and know that in the stillness of this moment, there is peace.
Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Reverend Ogun. Great message always, as always. I'd like to take this moment now to recognize some beautiful people in our community, our prayer chaplains. If you stand, if you're able. These folks are here for you right after service to sit with for any kind of prayer that you like, whether it be something heavy in your heart or even a grateful prayer. They're here for you. Thank you. We also have something called a home and hospital prayer chaplains. Are those folks here? Catherine, Nancy, and I know Annie Houghton also. If you have somebody that is home or in the hospital that needs someone to come by, they can do that for us. Thank you. We also have a prayer line and prayer requests in our prayer box, as we just blessed. We have the prayer line, which is on our website, and those prayers are prayed over for 30 days and then sent to Silent Unity. So now it's time to get our tithes together. So as we think about what we can give to this community, think about your own abundance and how this community has helped you with your own abundance. I know for me it has. Let's hold our tithes and offerings, and together let's say the tithe and offerings affirmation. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Namaste, everyone. I'm going to go off script for just a second and say that I'm taking all of you with me. I'm going to Southeast Asia for 5 weeks, and I'm going to do a forgiveness process in Vietnam. So if you'd like to touch me and come with me, please touch me at fellowship, and I'll bring you with me. We got everything we need to be happy right here. I got everything that I need to be happy. I got friends, I got food, I got my community, yeah, yeah. I got the birds in the morning and the sweet blue sky. I got my heart singing songs and singing my, oh my. I got everything that I need to be happy. Oh, I got everything that I need to be happy. Well, if I got shoes and I got a roof, I must have got laughter, and we got what's left of our sanity. And we got Maura on piano and Ogun in our ears. We got all the sweet belonging that comes from being here in this wonderful, abundant, amazing church. Yes, we do. Woo! We've got everything that we need. We got everything that we need. We got everything that we need to be happy. Do, 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 do,
Let us give thanks to you all. By the way, my unofficial Abundance theme song, I love that song. Thank you, man. It's like the greatest hit Sunday today. Oh my goodness. So, I invite you to go to your hearts in that place of recognizing the abundance that you are, that we are, and we give thanks for all that you give that allows us to give and create this container for the transformation of consciousness. And so it is, and so we let it be. Amen. Thank you. Two quick announcements. I will be here next week, and we have our, as Mickey mentioned, our annual meeting, community potluck. I want to invite you all to stay for the annual meeting. This is where we not only elect new members to our board, but we kind of give a nice big roundup about our year last year, some ideas for moving forward. We take questions from you, so please try to be a part of that tomorrow. Then after that, I'm going on vacation, heading home to Barbados to visit some family, get out of the cold a little bit, replenish with some sunshine. But I'm also going to be with the auction winners who got the trip to Barbados. Yeah, hi, Jackie, yeah. Going to be spending a few days beaching with them as well. Remember, you too can be at Barbados with me. Just got a bit high at the auctions, a bit high. But we have a couple of great guest speakers lined up while I'm gone. First, coming out of Michael Beckwith's church, Agape, we have Charles Holt, fabulous speaker and singer. We have our own beloved Denise DeSimone, who's just been a stalwart in our community. And then on the 25th, just in time for me to come back, Cheryl Richardson is going to be here. Many of you have requested that she come back. If you don't know who she is, go look her up real quick. How many of you know who Cheryl Richardson is? Oh, then yes, then you know who she is. She's going to be here Sunday. She's got a long connection with this community, and we're thrilled to have her back. So make sure you come and give all these speakers your support as well. And in your bulletins, you'll see, again, a flyer for the Caribbean cruise. If you want to join me in the Caribbean next spring, this is March 2019, never too early to plan your vacation from the cold. It's a unity cruise, which means you'll be there with other unitics like myself and like yourself. And if you register before the end of the month, you do get a discount. I know some of you have already registered. I can't wait. Remember, Cruise Ogun is fun, Ogun, and you've not experienced it yet. So please consider. This is also a fundraiser for our church, FUN and FUND. Our community gets a portion of the registration fee that you pay. So you're helping your community. You're going to come have some fun. And you'll be also spiritually fed by the ministers that are going to be there. And there's an opportunity on one of our stops to go do some service project work. So this isn't just about having fun, which is important. It's also about giving to the wider world and beyond yourself. So think about it. Like everything wrapped up in one. Spirituality, service, Cruise Ogun. Like, come on. So check the flyer, go on the website for the details, talk amongst each other, share the expense, come have some fun with us next March.
All right, thank you, Ogun. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you to all Sacred Service people. Special angels this week, Paula, Linda, Patrick, and Luann, Mike, and Zinkai. Thank you so much. Special thank you to the Floral Ministry team, bookstore team, music ministry, and PowerPoint team. Board members, please stand if you are here. Thank you to our board members. Thank you so much. And remember, thank you to those who make Wednesday night services happen. This week's service is a special service with our very own Reverends Phil and Marianne, a Curtan light. Thank you, Marianne. And now it's again Brian Dozer.
Well, I think if you've been here for any period of time, you should know this song. So please join in and make it loud and joyful. Why should I fear man when you made the heavens? Why should I be afraid when you put the stars in place? Oh, why should I lose heart when I know how great you are? Why should I give up when your plans are full of love? In this world we will have trouble, but you have overcome the world, and you shine brighter than the brightest star. Your love is purer than the purest heart. With courage and strength to follow you. Oh, why should I fear man when you made the heavens? Why should I be afraid when you put the stars in place? Oh, why should I lose heart when I know how great you are? Why should I give up when your plans are full of love? And you shine brighter than the brightest star. Your love is purer than the purest heart. With courage and strength to follow you. In this world we will have trouble. You have overcome the world. Purest heart, you shine, filling us with courage and strength to follow.
Let's remain standing as we welcome in our youth and family ministry, Walking as Alive.
Good morning. We had a really awesome day this morning. Really great group of kids. And we had a special guest, Susan Burdick. She's doing a series of lessons with the kids, and today she talked about building your playground. And it was really awesome. And I just want to put it out there to all of you. She's coming in with her expertise and love to work with children, and she's doing a little series, and that's something that we're hoping to roll out. So if anybody has something they want to teach our children and, you know, relate to them and come in, we have a few people that are doing that already, and it's kind of the vision that we've had. It's really exciting. So, but great group of kids today. Have a good one.
Awesome sauce. Let us stand, take the hand of our neighbor, affirm the truth for these children, for ourselves, peace on earth, and it begins with us.
Surrounds us. We are the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed.
Go be abundance this week. Brightest star, your